Welcome! Have you ever thought of the environment as a stakeholder which the company has to consider in its plans and activities? In this video, we deal with this question, answering not only whether the environment is a stakeholder, but how the company actually considers the environment in its decision making. What are the stages of organizational sustainability? The natural environment not having its own voice is not an obvious stakeholder. However, in recent years, it has gained a voice through the community of scientists, associations and politicians, activists, alarming what organization of harms of the environment for the health and security of all people. Such a voice has made people aware that as with human work, capital, other companies and individuals acting as investors, suppliers or competitors, the company needs and acts within the limits of natural environment. The company in fact uses the resources of the natural environment. It pays only for some resources like water usage, energy supply, air, but many resources remain unpaid for, and this causes negative consequences for future companies, the actual and future society. This unpaid ecological impact of the company raises debate and calls for integrating the idea of sustainability not only in the company's head actions, but also in her mission from which the actions will be derived. However, not all companies consider sustainability their responsibility towards the environment in such a serious and total way. Some are engaged in this idea only superficially, and some are immersed in it fully. We can view it as a process of rising consciousness in the company. The process of considering sustainability can be described as a process of 6 stages, which in fact describes 6 different factual attitudes of the company towards the natural environment. They begin with the rejection of the concept of sustainability and end with the stage where sustainability becomes an integral part of the company. In the following, I would like to explain briefly each of these phases, stages, and you can read about them later as well. In the first phase, the company as whole starts with having the notion that the sole purpose of the existence of an organization is to maximize its profit. This is Friedman's view, which moves the responsibility of organizing the environment to the state. The organization is working in given environment and is not responsible for any effects of its activity if only they are legal. In this sense, the negative external effects caused by company for environment, natural and human resources exploitation aren't in fact anything that is the responsibility of the company. If these effects create a violation of the right to competition, they can be restituted by the state, in the sense of economic ethics. It is like being tackled on the existing via ferrata only if it is really controlled. In the second phase, the company is realizing that such an attitude which treats nature as a free resource and they can do anything they want with it without paying the price is starting to become a little bit risky for the company. Hence, the company is trying to avoid a surfacing negative public image and discourse because they will lose money. In this phase, we can observe phenomena such as greenwashing. It is like being tackled on the Via Ferrata on the pictures published on the third compliance stage. The company, in order to avoid sanctions for not meeting the minimum standards, is starting to act and shape the image as a green company and also incorporate environmental awareness. The main reason is to avoid high costs in the future. It is like teaching all employees the importance of using tackle on Via Ferrata in order to avoid falling. In the fourth efficiency phase, the company is more and more aware that there are genuine advantages to be gained by proactively implementing sustainable practices. So the organization is now building several formal and informal institutions which help them to improve efficiency and engagement in sustainable practices. It is like organizing the parts of Via Ferrata where they fail and are not safe, so that people working for the company may tackle on it. With the fifth phase, the company switches to becoming proactive. This stage can also be called strategic sustainability, as the sustainability now constitutes an important part of the organization's business strategy, and so the whole structure of the company is redesigned in order to be sustainable. In order to reach this goal, the organization also invests resources to develop interpersonal and other soft skills. It is like knowing that people working for the company may sometimes choose shortcuts to teach an attitude. The way is the goal. Eliminating ways other than the Via Ferrata to the top, by building them and teaching people to use them. The last stage, called the sustaining organization, includes not only the proactivity of the company, but also states that the ideology of sustainability is very strongly internalized within the organization. As a result, the company is able to rebuild parts of its vision as well as the corporate identity. Keywords to be named here are, for instance, the transformative culture and the need to redefine business relationships and context. This is like starting to cooperate with other organizations to build more iron paths Via Ferrata in order to encourage other organizations with which the company collaborates to use them as well. The sun up and the sun is going down as well. We have 6 phases of organizational sustainability, which are defining the attitude of the company towards sustainability. Thank you very much for your attention.